UFC 314. Alright, I have to be honest. At a glance, it does not look like a disaster card from an entertainment perspective at least, you know? What could very well be a disaster for you is if you're a betting man or a woman and you are not careful with this card, you can fall into some awful traps in these matchups I personally think you should be avoiding at all costs. I realize that statement is a bit too sensational, but you know I have to do whatever needed to please the algorithm, I suppose. Anyway, it's MMA Buff here, and today we will be talking all about my UFC 314 predictions. Since literally no one has watched my picks for UFC 313, I'm happy to tell you that I had 4 winning and 0 losing picks there. Let me tell you, 2 of those winners were underdogs, so not too shabby for my first predictions, I would say. Starting off strong, I wanna talk about the main event. We got good old Volk versus the rising star with questionable hairstyling, Diego Lopez. Alexander Volkanovski has been one of the best featherweights in the history of the sport, that is just a fact. He's facing someone who is pretty good on the feet with his power and is a real submission threat on the ground, that's all true. But like, come on, Diego Lopez has also shown some big weaknesses in the past for sure. Before I start talking about those, I just wanna tell you, if you're betting Lopez to win, you have to dedicate at least a portion of it for him to win inside the distance. If I were to pick Lopez to win, which I'm not doing by the way, I would probably pick him to win inside the distance only. I'm pretty sure you know the prop bets where you get your bet back if the fight goes to distance, yeah, I'm talking about those. I just think the likelihood of Diego Lopez winning a 5-round, exhausting, grueling war against Volk is so slim, I would be extremely surprised if that happens. Now, I'm not saying he cannot win and Volk is an easy lock. No, far from it actually. Volk definitely did not look his best versus Ilya and even against Islam when they fought for the second time. There can be a debate regarding why that happened. Some people say it's because Ilya and Islam are simply better. Some people say Volk was way too harsh on his body with the quick turnarounds. Whatever the reason may be, Volk once again has to prove he is that guy who was running the show at featherweight. I happen to think he is capable of doing just that versus Diego Lopez. All he has to do really is not get caught early, put the pace on him, do that like classic, oh I'm too fast for you thing he did against Max. I'm not kidding, seriously. I don't see Volk being submitted for example because the man has no neck. Even Islam couldn't get that done. I also don't see Volk being continuously outstruck by Lopez on the feet. Yeah, Lopez can have some moments, don't get me wrong. Yet, over the course of a 25-minute fight, Volk's output is too much for Lopez. That's a given I think. Talking about holes in Diego's game, even though some people just dismiss his poor display of cardio by throwing out the fact that he had to cut weight multiple times before fighting Danny Gay. Like, come on, let's not kid ourselves. If a fighter looks that exhausted in a 3-round fight against an opponent who doesn't throw nearly as much as Volk, I would say there's a high chance for that fighter to slow down as a 25-minute championship bout progresses. At the end of the day, it's up to you of course, but I'm going with Volk. And if you are going with Lopez, I reckon you should at least take a look at the win inside the distance option. As always, you are more than welcome to make fun of me as long as you made your picks clear before the event, alright? Another matchup which I think could be tricky to bet to a point where I'm personally not betting is Michael Chandler versus Paddy Pimblett. Where do I even start with this? Mike, I know you're listening to me. I don't know what to tell you man, each time you go out there you come close to winning but never ever get it done. Not only that, you also cheat a lot. I don't want to be too harsh to you, you seem like a nice man, but what were those shots on the back of Charles Oliveira's head? I still cannot comprehend how the ref didn't say anything there. Okay, now that my direct 1-to-1 went for Michael Chandler is over, let me tell you who I got winning this fight. I got Paddy Pimblett. Not because of that insane submission he managed to get done against Bobby King Green, no. It's mainly because I know Paddy will do anything to get the victory, and Chandler will do almost anything to lose. Paddy in the past had problems with backing away from shots, getting clipped here and there, taking massive damage. Another really important detail is, although Paddy has nice submission wins, he has terrible time at actually taking people to the ground. He has like what, 25% takedown accuracy? He also never fought someone on the same level as Mike. All of these factors in a world dictated by logic should be working against Paddy. Unfortunately though, Mike doesn't know anything about logic or reason when it's time for him to step into the octagon. So I wouldn't touch this line with a 10-foot pole to be honest. Any logical assumption you may think you are making will fly right out of the door the moment this fight starts, mainly thanks to Mike as we all know. The final fight I'll be talking about today is Yair Rodriguez versus Pitbull. My assessment after watching Pitbull's fights, especially the more recent ones, is this. It's too late man, way too late. A 5-year age difference at featherweight can mean a lot, alright? As if that's not bad enough already, Yair has a nice reach advantage over Pitbull as well, and he lands way more volume like it's not even comparable. I'm not sure about the exact method of victory, as I think both a KO by Yair, as Pitbull is trying to get close, or a striking clinic for 15 minutes which gives Yair the decision. Both of those are quite possible. Yeah, Yair Rodriguez to win is good enough for me. That's pretty much it for today. Thank you for watching, and please let me know what you think down in the comments. You can bet I will be there replying to each and every one of them. Do not forget to subscribe. Talk to you soon right after UFC 314.